I thought it was you.
No, it's you, fool.
It is? I thought because I was last week with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Caleb doesn't even know his own system. Or our own system, whatever.
I am so dumb. I was looking at you like you're the idiot. What is up, bros? Welcome to the All Bros.
Look who did this homework, bitch.
Oh, man. I am Caleb.
And I'm the smart one, I guess, this episode, Jonathan.
And we are a couple of bros on a mission to give you guys the most detailed movie reviews out there with as little bias as possible. Welcome to the All Bros. This week on the podcast.
There you go. It's a podcast we do. Good job.
Yeah, this week on the podcast, we will be breaking down the 1979 classic Alien in preparation for next week's episode, which will be our breakdown of Aliens with a very special guest. And then maybe if we're on the Alien hype train, we might do Alien Romulus after that. Who knows?
I definitely want to see an alien or whatever, the face hugger. I definitely want to see that go down someone's throat in XD. That's what I've always wanted.
Yeah. Dude, have you seen that freaking trailer though?
Yeah. Oh my God. Like
when she takes that light to her back, I'm like, dude, no. Absolutely.
Dude, seriously.
So grossed out. So grossed out, dude.
But like so cool though. Like it's gross, but it's cool as hell.
It is so cool. Anyway.
Oh man.
That is a possible future episode, and all the more likely with how much I enjoyed this movie. August may turn into the week of or the month of Alien. So anyway, we'll figure out how that goes eventually. But at least these 2 weeks are going to be dedicated to the Alien franchise. But first up, we got a couple things in Weekly Watch that we're going to discuss, and I thought there was a bug. And yeah, so without further ado, let's say we get on into it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Need motivation? Angry Dad Podcast. Trying to jumpstart your life? Angry Dad Podcast. You want help getting off the couch? Angry Dad Podcast. You need a verbal kick in the ass? Angry Dad Podcast. You want to hear from somebody who's been through it all? Angry Dad Podcast. I am here for you. You can find me on all podcast platforms.
All right. Kicking this episode off in Weekly Watch. I actually watched some shit this week.
That he did. Watched way more than me.
Yeah. Well, so a couple of these have been from previous weeks.
So
it's just, yeah, it's ones that I've missed, but I did want to like discuss real quick. So yeah, I included a couple more. So this is like my past couple weeks Weekly Watch, because I keep forgetting. I need to find a system to remind myself of this. Like I need to send myself a text message or something. Like I don't remember notes for shit.
Wait, no, never mind.
What?
I was gonna say, I wish that like freaking streaming services had the thing to where it says like previously watched, but then I remember all of them have the like watch it again thing. I forgot about that. So never mind.
Mine doesn't, like, mine only does the watch it again on stuff that's older on my watch list or stuff that I've watched.
Oh,
like it doesn't have any of the new stuff.
Okay, so then maybe there should be a thing that you can see or previously watched.
Yeah, or at least a history.
Yeah,
I feel like I feel like I remember at least HBO. I think used to do that.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, be a nice feature. but I also understand why that wouldn't be a nice feature.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, anyway, but kicking off this week's weekly watch, first thing I watched was the Multiverse of Madness after kind of doing a whole WandaVision binge. Yeah, I was feeling a little nostalgic for some reason. I wanted to restart phase. Was this 4 or is this 5?
This is 4.
Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of like restart phase 4. So I went back and rewatched WandaVision and I had a good time with it. The rewatchability is hard, at least on the first few episodes. Once they start getting more into like what's happening behind the scenes, that's when it gets a little bit more interesting. But yeah, like I was able to finish this honestly, I think the same day.
Damn.
Yeah, well, like actually that's not true. I split it up between 2 days because I started it. I got to episode 3 or 4, and then I finished the series off the next time I watched. So it was pretty quick, but I was on a Scarlet Witch kick. So I decided to watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, like almost immediately after watching or finishing the WandaVision. And I gotta say, the twist of her becoming a villain wasn't quite as out of the blue as I feel like I thought it was in our first watch.
Even though the writers said that they never watched WandaVision.
That is horse shit. Dude, freaking the Marvel movie should be required viewing by anyone working on it now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That is bullshit. Ooh, freaking way to get me heated like a couple minutes into this.
You're welcome. Yeah, we're not even 10 minutes in. This is a new record.
Yeah. But a little, yeah, not quite as like out of the blue. It made sense, especially with like the end credit scene and her reading the Darkhold. But I dug it. The multiversal travel was pretty cool. I wish we got to see a little bit more multiverse in this, because all we got to see were 3 Doctor Stranges, 1 completely alternate dimension, and obviously like a little quick jumping through of the different, like it wasn't even like a montage, it was just a quick like where you see him like traveling through the different universes, and it's like, oh, like you are paint in this universe, like freaking dumb ones.
Oh yeah.
But it was good. I freaking loved America Chavez. Like I thought she was as fun as she's ever been. And yeah, freaking. Oh, actually, we get to see like 4 Doctor Stranges. I keep forgetting about the bad guy one.
Oh yeah. He looked cool as hell.
Yeah, dude, there were some freaking sick ass lines from this though. When he's talking and he's like, "Have you ever had like?" Because they did. It's something I didn't catch the first time. It's whenever you dream, that's a portal into your other lives. So that like a dream is a gateway to your other lives and your other dimensions and stuff. So that's why Doctor Strange had a dream about what happened with America Chavez and everything. And so the bad guy, Doctor Strange, was like, have you ever heard or had a dream where you were falling from a really tall building? And then like OG Doctor Strange, his eyes get wide and he's like, that was probably me. And I'm like, that goes hard, dude. Like, that's freaking scary. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a good time that rewatch. Funny enough, Iris was sitting on the couch during the fight with the giant eyeball monster thing.
Yeah.
And I forgot how graphic that was.
Oh shit. Uh-oh.
And she was playing on her tablet doing like ABC Mouse or something, and just kind of like zoned out doing her own thing. And she like I look over at her because I'm trying to see if she's like has any interest, and none. And the scene comes where Doctor Strange takes the freaking lamppost, launches it into this giant eyeball, and then rips it out, and it like falls to the ground. And I was like, oh, that was kind of graphic. And I look over at Iris, and she's kind of sitting there behind her tablet, just wide-eyed. And I'm like, oh, shit. And then she just mortified. And then she like looks over at me, and I'm like, it's just pretend, baby. And she's just like, okay.
Oh shit.
I'm like, I really need to be more careful about the shit I turn on in front of her.
Oh man.
But yeah, it was just it was just so funny seeing her like her little eyes just super big, just and then just look over at me. She's
Was
just
I
like,
supposed to see that?
yeah, and I paused it. I was like, "What you doing, baby?" And she's like, "Practicing my letters."
It's okay, good. Let's keep doing that.
Yeah,
Let's not pay attention to what I'm watching.
it's like, I think mommy's calling you. Yeah, but I enjoyed it like this go around. So I'm giving it a $5 Tuesday. I think it's definitely, there's a lot of moments that I feel are made for the big screen, but so I think that would make it the ideal experience. But
Fair enough.
yeah, I don't know if I'd pay full price to see this in theaters again. All right, next up, I watched The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I actually finished that today, like half an hour before we started recording. This movie's bullshit. It's so dumb. It's like, I didn't realize that this was supposed to be a comedy until Netflix told me after the movie was over. Like, they set up a bunch of like comedic moments, but it's freaking Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer in this, and they just play it off so suave that like no one like they just played it off so straight laced, and it was boring. Like the action sequences were cool. The action sequences were really cool, but they tried to make this funny, and it wasn't. And that, like, knowing that it was like coming out of it, I was just like, okay, like this wasn't horrible. And then I saw it was supposed to be a comedy, and I'm like, this is freaking dumb, because they had like multiple sequences where they ruined by being too suave, and it pissed me off. Like, not because it was suave, is because it was supposed to be funny. And then like there was like maybe one scene in the entire movie that got me to laugh.
Damn.
Yeah, it was bad. But the twists were so dumb too. Like, for those of you curious about it, the way that they pulled off these twists is they showed you footage of the twist happening, but then they would cut out the audio. And so it would just be completely like blank audio. And then they would continue on with the story. And then they would like do a quick little flashback, like, oh yeah, guess what? And then they would cut back to the exact same scene that we just saw with audio. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's really dumb.
Yeah. And there was a bunch of sequences like where this chick was driving in the car with her uncle, and it was like the camera was outside the window, and you could see their mouths moving, and the subtitles were going. And then she rolled the window down, and then you could hear what he was saying. And that was like one of the freaking like twists and turns. Like, you eventually go back to like hear what he said. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
Yeah, it was so dumb. So it was a big miss. like really big miss. So like I said, the only thing cool about this was some of the action. So I'm giving this a nothing better to do, because this is one like you have to watch with your brain off.
All right.
Like if you read too much into it, it is just too much. But yeah, then the last thing I watched, and this one was from a little while ago, I rewatched The Pacifier. And good on Walt Disney for trying to do an action sequence, but that freaking bankrupted this movie, I'm pretty sure, because that was where at least 85% of the budget went. Because there was a freaking a boat, there was a helicopter, there was 4 jet skis, and I think that was it. And then they had like this whole little action sequence that was acted so poorly. And then you have like the rest of the movie is shot in a house. It's so,
Yeah.
it is ridiculous. It is all types of ridiculous. Vin Diesel was all right. Like he wasn't giving it his A effort whatsoever.
I don't know, man. Like freaking when it came to the Peter Panda dance, he was totally giving it his all.
Dude, this is the movie that I will say single-handedly murdered his comedy career.
Fair. Oh,
Dude, there was something this was an odd period of time for Disney too, because you had like this movie, and then what was it, the Tooth Fairy with The Rock?
No, so it was the game plan.
The game plan.
Yeah.
And then no, The Rock did a Tooth Fairy movie too.
He did, but I don't think that was Disney.
Was it not Disney?
It might have been Fox, which is now Disney. I don't think it was Disney. I could be wrong.
Oh yeah, it was Fox.
Okay, so yeah, technically it is Disney now.
Yep. Yeah. So
And
you
then they
get these
followed it up
like
with the sequel.
Yeah, it was an odd period of time because it was just like
Let's get a big buff dude and have him interact with children.
Yeah, pretty much. It was super weird, dude. Super weird. And this movie was no different. Good on them for trying to incorporate some stuff. Because I think like their dad gets freaking murdered. You don't see anything, but it just like they allude to the fact that he's freaking killed. And then they freaking sneak in that like this freaking emo kid is some secret Nazi because he's trying out for a play doing the Sound of Music.
Oh yeah.
Yet oh man, this is the thing that got me. I'm like, the only thing that you have in your locker is the freaking swastika armband and not like, I don't know, the rest of the costume.
Yeah.
Like, what?
The freaking what was it? I think the nanny though, she was freaking hilarious.
Absolutely.
I loved her.
Yeah.
The kids, I feel the kids were funny too, especially the little girl when she would do like the cross-eyed thing and it'd make the little brother cry.
Yep. Dude, I was looking like when we were writing out our recommendations, I was looking at the cast and everything. So I was trying to see what I knew her from. And I knew her from, like, I know all of her work other than like maybe 1 or 2 projects. She freaking pieced out shortly after, like, of the acting game shortly after this movie.
Yeah, because I can't remember which came out first, this or Cheaper by the Dozen.
I want to say Cheaper by the Dozen was later.
Okay. But yeah, because I know I don't know if she still is, but I remember seeing her on TikTok a couple years ago, and she explained why she left acting and everything. So I think she wanted to become a writer. Like she more so enjoyed like the writing the writing aspect of the film industry, but she didn't want to stay in the film industry growing up, so she decided to become a writer.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, just looking. The last movie she did was Cheaper by the Dozen 2, which
Damn.
was the same year as The Pacifier.
Wow.
And then, yeah, one of her first projects, she was an extra in some short, but her first real project was Cheaper by the Dozen, the first one. She did one episode of 2 shows. Then she did The Pacifier, Cheaper by the Dozen 2, and then she did 11 episodes in Hannah Montana. And then she freaking just deuced right on out of there.
Oh man.
Which, good on her, dude. She acted for a total of probably 3 years.
Yeah. So she quit in her prime, so you know what? Good on you.
Yeah. Like, good for her, dude. Because, like, I feel like a lot of other kid actors, like, they get stuck in that shit and then they just deep, dark pit of despair.
Yeah.
But,
True, which is really sad. It's really sad.
yeah, the 2 older kids, they actually went on to be a little, like, they kept doing acting.
Yeah, because I feel everyone knows Brittany Snow, or at least
Yeah.
I think people do.
Yeah. I don't know about the 2 younger boys, but the oldest boy, he is in like a SEAL team show and Fire Country or something
Oh.
like that. He looks so different now. It's wild. Like he kind of like bulked up. And so it like completely changed like his face and everything. And he has like a big old burly beard. Like it's freaking nuts.
Okay, sorry. I have to see this really quickly.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. It is wild. But yeah, this one's kind of like a nostalgic classic for me. So I'm giving this a stream it.
Yeah, dude, you're not kidding. Holy shit.
Yeah, I told you. Freaking completely different, right?
Like, damn, that is night and day. Holy shit.
All right, and I think that's all that I watched this week. So now, what do you got, Rose?
So for me, oh shit, oops, sorry. So first off, because you know, after watching Deadpool and Wolverine and us getting the final closure on the Fox universe, it made me nostalgic. So I decided to watch Fantastic Four. And you know, I know this movie gets a lot of shit, but I still enjoy the hell out of it. It's still a fun time from start to finish. This is the movie why the Fantastic Four is my favorite team when it comes to superhero teams. I love these 4 characters. Just yeah, like what I find funny is like I've talked to like I don't like what is your opinion on Doctor Doom in this movie? Like, do you like the iteration?
I like him.
Yeah, okay.
I think the actor is perfect. I think the interpretation is slightly off, but
fair. Okay.
Because I think they gave Doctor Doom some sort like electricity power, and that's not his shtick.
Yeah.
Like he's actually a magic based character. Like he does a lot of magic, but he's also like hyper intelligent and stuff. So that's what makes him such a big threat, and why putting him up against Reed Richards is such a good pairing, because Reed is often able to outsmart him, but his plans are also so intricate that it takes Reed so long to be to outsmart him. So I feel like that interpretation didn't necessarily clash.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I really liked his Doctor Doom. Honestly, dude, his look was perfect.
Dude, oh, so badass. Although
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but I feel the final fight was a little too fast.
a little bit.
Like literally, he said like after like the 4 come together, he goes like, "This is gonna be fun," and like literally less than 5 minutes later, he's like cryogenically froze. Like, god damn, that was fast.
Yeah, it is a bit fast, and I feel like I don't know. I enjoyed it. I still
I
enjoy
did
it.
too.
I
Yeah.
I think they just what this movie did, and this is why I don't necessarily hold the super fast conclusion against this movie. It's because they spent so much of this just building up the characters.
Which I really appreciate.
Yeah, like give me a cool fight. Once it's overstayed its welcome, like freaking wipe your hands of it. Like
Yeah.
be done. Like it doesn't need to be like this super long, intricate fight. Because I feel like sometimes like that could be the case where a fight goes on for too long.
I feel you leading with that. I mean, I haven't. So I started the second one, but something came up, so I was only able to get a half hour into it. So I'm gonna finish it by next week to talk about it. But I've seen so many people complain about that, saying, "Oh, it's only an hour and a half long. It like moves so fast. You know, we barely get any times with the characters." And I'm thinking, okay, if you're watching the first one, you get so much time with establishing these four that I'm totally fine with them like literally 15, 20 minutes in, just jumping straight into the action and the Silver Surfer's already there.
Yeah.
I'm
That
perfectly
was
fine with that.
dude, honestly, like that is perfect.
Yeah.
Establish your characters. You don't have to put them in some crazy ordeal. Establish your characters, and then from there on, just freaking get into the action.
Yeah.
And I think they had pretty good character moments where Reed and Sue were talking about like bouncing, and then how Johnny was dealing with that, and then like his freaking conundrum with having like the complicated powers with or like swapping with Silver Surfer. Like that was pretty freaking nuts.
Right? Yeah.
The
But
only
sorry.
honestly, the only thing about the Rise of the Silver Surfer that I didn't like was how Galactus looked.
Yeah, I will definitely give you that. That was very lazy.
Yeah, extremely lazy, but it did not bother me. Like outside of
Same here.
that,
Yeah,
I thought
same here.
Silver Surfer looked sick. I thought
Oh,
all the Fantastic Four looked sick.
dude, when he first glides through the building, and even Johnny's like, now that's cool. Like, I freaking got as giddy as I remember as I was when I was a kid. Like, oh my God, I love that scene so much.
Dude, I remember watching that like a million times in commercials and shit, and I still got freaking hyped when that happened in the
So
movie.
cool, right? Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, like dude, there's not much you could beat about this Fantastic Four.
Seriously, like the cast is great. The characters are well established. Doctor Doom, for how they portray him, is really good. And we've already discussed that the sequel is also good, but we're not going to talk about that one. But this one is just, I have so much, like I have so much I had so much fun as a kid watching this one so many times. Like out of the, like, don't be wrong, watched the X-Men movies of course a lot as a child, but like this is the one with the Fox movies that I always came back to. I'm honestly shocked that I didn't destroy the DVD that I had of this as a child for how many times I watched this.
It's a good one.
It
is
like
a good
freaking
one.
like I remember like some of the toys that I had from this movie, the video game. Just yeah, so
I never played the game. Was it good?
I thought it was. I had a good time. What I found funny is so I was watching like some old gameplay from it on YouTube, and they showcase like the character trailers, and I was watching the one for Mr. Fantastic, and they were literally going over like they were like sugar coating his powers, like making like holding your hand with it, and I'm just like, can't you just say super elasticity? I think that the audience isn't dumb, that we can understand what that means.
Yeah, no shit.
You don't have to hold our hand. Just say super elasticity. That's what he has.
Oh man, dude, I loved playing as the Fantastic Four in Lego Marvel.
Dude, so I hated that I swear they weren't in the second one, or was that X-Men?
No, the freaking X-Men were in it either.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
Yeah, Avengers 2 was only MCU.
Okay, yeah, okay, I remember that.
Yeah, so they took out Fantastic Four. I think the only one they had was like Spider-Man.
That's dumb.
Yeah, but yeah, that freaking pissed me off.
Yeah,
because Lego Marvel, the first Lego Marvel, will never be beat.
oh, absolutely not.
That is my favorite Lego game to date. I wish that they incorporated some of the mechanics in future games, like the super jumping for like Hulk. I freaking love that. But yeah, like that game was so good. I'll even say it's better than the third one.
Wait, okay, sorry. So the third one considered Lego Marvel Superheroes 2? Or wait,
Good question.
because is it Lego Marvel, Lego Avengers, and then Lego Marvel 2?
Hold on, I'm looking it up because now you got me confused.
Because I don't think there was a Lego Marvel 3.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the first one is Lego Marvel Superheroes, then Lego Avengers, and then Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
Okay.
But that one was also like, it didn't include a lot of characters I feel should have been in it.
Like you said, it was a lot more so focused on the MCU.
Yeah, Lego Avengers was absolutely focused on the MCU.
Yeah, which made sense.
Let me see if I can find like a full list. So yeah, the OG one had pretty much all the heavy hitters, like Iron Man, Galactus, Blade, Black Panther, Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, Skrull, Mystique, MODOK, Sabretooth, like all the big hitters.
Yeah.
Avengers, on the other hand, trying to see who they had. Whoop. Not what I wanted to look at. Yeah, this one had a lot of DLCs attached to it. Yeah, they had like a Red Hulk. Like this one had a lot more unknowns.
Interesting.
Yeah, like a lot more unknowns. And then Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, it was kind of the same deal. Like outside, like they had kind of a lot of Spider-Man characters.
Yeah.
But I don't think they had any X-Men. A lot of these are freaking Spider-Man characters.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah, they got like Mystique, Ben Reilly, Spider-Ham, Miles Morales, Spider-Man Britain. Yeah, this one was not. Yeah, I I prefer Lego Marvel Superheroes, the first one, out of all three of those games. I felt the story was off the hook.
True.
I used to love riding around New York City as Ghost Rider.
Yeah, that was badass.
Yeah, and they ruined that in the other games. Like they made the vehicles too hard to steer.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, it was freaking ridiculous. And the only thing that I wish that they would have had is speedsters. Or wait, did they have a speedster in the first one? No, I feel like the first speedster was Quicksilver in Avengers.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I need to replay those games. I bet Iris would freaking love them.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
But yeah, I miss those games, and having the Fantastic Four in them is the best.
Agreed. But yeah, love this movie, love this cast, and so gonna give this a stream it.
Hell,
you guys haven't seen this? What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, go check it out.
So I have one more actually that I added in a little last minute because so recently the Nostalgia Critic released his episode of of his critique of Disaster movie, and so he got me intrigued to watch it again. And you know what? When I was a kid, I thought these movies were funny because like the potty humor for how stupid the humor was, and now being an adult, the humor's just bad. It's just so bad. And these movies, the two writer and directors of these movies were actually writers of or on the original Scary Movies, when these parody movies were actually good. But once the Wayans brothers left and other writers left, these just kept going down and downhill, from date movie to epic movie, Meet the Spartans, disaster movie, vampires suck. Oh my God, that just got so much worse. And just I feel this is the crowning jewel when it comes to their worst ones. Because I was telling Caleb that most of the movies that are parodied in this movie, because they had to make sure that this movie came out in 2008 when all these movies were popular, they literally watched only the trailer to get the story with these certain franchises. And that is just freaking stupid. And just, yeah. And who can forget the "I'm fucking" song at the end of the movie? Just it's so bad. It's so bad. So if you watched this as a kid and thought it was good, just know that it was not. We thought it was fun.
Dude, we thought it was good because we were too young to be watching it.
True. That's a good point.
That was honestly it. We were too young to be watching it. We knew that, and so we're like, "Oh yeah, like you just don't get it because it's an adult movie." No, we don't get it because it's stupid.
Yeah, so it gets a don't bother 100%. Like
freaking good.
It's so bad. And honestly, if anyone has if anyone can defend this movie or like most of these movies, like epic movie, actually, okay, a lot of these suck. Date movie is one of their better ones. Like, and it's not good. It is not good, but at least it's actually watchable, I feel. But if anyone can defend disaster movie, epic movie, we're not going to talk about at least the first two scary movies, because those are actually good. But if you can defend some of these movies, like, please, I really want to hear your defense because they suck.
Yeah.
I liked them as a kid, but as an adult, I realized how fucking stupid they are.
Dude, oh man, they are. They absolutely are. And yeah, if you feel like you could defend them, we will do a full-blown episode of them. For one of these movies, whatever movie that you feel.
So hard to do, freaking grade one of these.
Yeah, I could imagine. So yeah, if you guys feel like you could defend it well enough, we will do a full-blown freaking episode. We will do the whole shebang, of watching the movies. God, or like whatever movie you choose.
Just imagine if like DJ actually had a good defense for one of these. I doubt it, but you know what? That would be a fun as hell episode. I'm not gonna lie.
Would. I feel like I know DJ well enough that he wouldn't have a good defense for this.
Thank goodness. Okay.
If he was trying to be contrarian, I bet he could, but I don't know if he's that contrarian.
Oh shit.
This should be funny though.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got for weekly watch.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, with that wraps up this week's weekly watch portion. So with that, we will move on to this week's breakdown, where we will be discussing the 1979 classic Alien. righty. Getting into this week's breakdown. If you guys are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final All Bros letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, but with this being a horror-themed movie, we're going to be changing character development to logic and just making sure that the movie follows its own logic, because I feel like that's more important than character development, at least in terms of horror, at least. Next, we'll be talking about effects, the music, the costumes, and then we will give it our own personal score at the very end. All these numbers will get magically added up and spit through our algorithm and give us a letter grade to compare this movie to others of a similar grade. So, if you have not seen Alien, you have had plenty of time to do so. But we will be posting that spoiler warning as we prepare for our favorite segment that we like to call Reading with Rose, where Johnny Rose will be reading the entire synopsis for this film and, like I said, spoiling the entire movie.
Yeah. And
So if anything spoiled for you beyond this point, sucks to suck.
exactly. All right.
So yeah, without further ado, Rose, you want to take it away?
Love to. The commercial space tug Nostromo? I forgot how they say it.
I think that's it. Nostromo.
Nostromo?
Nostromo.
Is returning to Earth with a 7-member crew in stasis. Captain Dallas, Executive Officer Kane, Warrant Officer Ripley, Navigator Lambert, Science Officer Ash, and engineers Parker and Brett. The ship's computer, Mother, detects a transmission from a nearby moon and awakens the crew. Following company policy to investigate any systemized transmission indicating intelligent origin, they land on the moon and Dallas, Kane, and Lambert head out to investigate the signal's origin. The party discovers that it is from a derelict alien spaceship. Inside, they find the remains of a large alien with a hole in its torso. Mother later deciphers part of the transmission, which Ripley determines is actually a warning message. Kane discovers a chamber containing hundreds of large eggs. When he touches one, a spider-like creature springs out, penetrates his helmet, and attaches itself to his face. Dallas and Lambert carry the unconscious Kane back to the Nostromo. As the acting senior officer, Ripley refuses to let them aboard, citing quarantine regulations, but Ash overrides her decision and lets them inside. Yeah, this movie would have ended a lot faster if they would have let Ripley go through with not letting them back in.
Honestly, it makes sense why, like, at least now.
True,
Like,
yeah.
I was so pissed. I'm like, you bitches.
No, seriously.
I'd be like, screw you guys. I'm hiding out in the goddamn escape pod. You guys can go screw yourselves.
For real, like, seriously. While Parker and Brett effect repairs on the Nostromo, Ash attempts to remove the creature from Kane's face, but stops when he discovers that its extremely corrosive, acidic blood could hurt Kane and potentially damage the ship's hull. It eventually detaches itself and is found dead. After the crew return to space, Kane awakens with some memory loss, but otherwise seems fine. During a final crew meal before returning to stasis, he suddenly chokes and convulses. A small alien creature then bursts from his chest, killing him, and escapes into the ship. After ejecting Kane's body out of an airlock, the crew attempts to locate the creature with tracking devices and kill it. Brett follows the crew's pet cat Jones into a landing leg compartment where the now fully grown alien attacks Brett, and disappears with his body. The crew determines the alien must be in the air ducts. Dallas enters the ducts with a flamethrower intending to force the monster into an airlock, but it ambushes and seemingly kills him. Lambert implores that they abandon ship and flee into an escape shuttle, but Ripley, now in command, explains it will not support 4 people and insists on continuing Dallas's plan of flushing out the alien. Accessing Mother, Ripley discovers the company has secretly ordered Ash to return with the alien for study and to consider the crew expendable. She confronts Ash, who tries to kill her, but Parker intervenes and clubs Ash, knocking his head loose and revealing him to be an android. The survivors reactivate Ash's head, who confirms the company's orders and states that the alien is unkillable, while expressing his admiration for it and taunting them about their chances for survival. Ripley shuts him down, and Parker incinerates him. The remaining crew decides to self-destruct the Nostromo and escape in the shuttle. However, Parker and Lambert are ambushed and killed by the alien while gathering supplies. Now on her own, Ripley initiates the self-destruct sequence but finds the alien blocking her path to the shuttle. She retreats, attempts unsuccessfully to abort the self-destruct, flees back to the shuttle with Jones, and narrowly escapes as the Nostromo explodes. As Ripley prepares for stasis, she discovers that the alien is aboard, having stowed itself into a narrow compartment. She dons a spacesuit and flushes the creature out. It approaches Ripley, but before it can kill her, she opens an airlock door. The alien manages to hang on, but Ripley fires a grappling hook gun to push it out, and then fires the engines, blasting it away into deep space. After recording her final log entry, she places Jones and herself into stasis for the trip back to Earth.
Oh, man. Dude, I'm just going to come out right and say it. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought the horror elements of this film were fantastic. You cannot beat the classic, like, 80s, early 90s prosthetics.
It's true.
That being said, I have some problems with the movie. First and foremost is actually part of the ending. The process of self-destructing the ship 100% should be very complicated. It should not be an easy thing to do, to set up the self-destruct. It should not be equally difficult to turn self-destruct off.
Man's got a point.
When she was putting all that shit, like, basically doing what she did in reverse, I'm like, nah. There should just be a boop, changed my mind button, and that's it. It should be easier to turn the self-destruct off than it is to turn it on. And this was something funny. So I watched this with Brielle because she is a big fan of all these movies.
Hell yeah.
I was like narrating this, and she's just like, this process feels super complicated. And I'm just like, you got to imagine that this is probably a multi-million-dollar spacecraft, like, carrying even more value in its cargo. Like, it should be difficult to self-destruct this thing. Like, it should be. And then when she ran, saw that the freaking alien was not in, but near the escape pod, and then goes to turn it off. I'm like, nope, it should not be that hard. It should not be a freaking reversal process to turn that shit off. I understand movies got a movie. I wish that she would have just gotten, like, I don't know, cornered or something by the alien, and it just wasn't able to get to it in time. Because her going through the whole process of turning the self-destruct off, I'm like, this is too much.
Imagine if the cat just kept getting in the way. Would not let her work.
That goddamn cat.
I love that cat. There was a moment at the end or towards the end when freaking she leaves the cat and it's literally comes face to face with the alien. I'm just like, you are not going to kill this cat. I swear to God, movie, if you kill this cat, I'm going to lose my mind. Thankfully they didn't. Thank God. But
that cat would have been bait. That cat would have been bait. Are you absolutely kidding me? You put a 7-minute time window on this whole escape plan of yours, and you decide right then and there when you're on freaking Easy Street to freaking to bounce out of the safety of the escape shuttle to go and save a freaking cat.
Yep.
That was the freaking I hated that cat with a fiery passion.
I loved that cat. Favorite character of the movie.
Oh my hell. That cat pissed me off. Something awful.
That cat was all she had left, man.
Oh man.
Should probably be calling the cat by his name.
But yeah, dude, other than that,
Jones, that's his name.
That, like I said, the cat was a big point of contention for me. I can let that go. The self-destruct sequence was a bit much. I can also let that go. My only true issue with this movie was that it was a little long. And it was just because the freaking I have to forgive it because of the times. Every movie, their opening credits are ridiculously long.
Yeah, it's crazy thinking back to like, you know, the time that this came out, and like that's how the credits were literally showed before the movie even started. Because I mean that's how it is with Halloween that came out a year before this. You know, you just have like the glowing pumpkin and you're showcasing, you know, the actors, the writers, directors, all that stuff. So like, yeah, like like don't get me wrong, I love that. You know, it's cool to show the appreciation for the creative side for the movie that way, instead of for most people that don't even watch the credits, they just up and leave right after that. Whereas you make them watch it, you make them show respect to these people.
I'm totally down for that.
No, but it does, you know, like sometimes add to the like, okay, like I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but like, you know, like can we get the ball rolling? Like, come on, I want to get to the story.
Dude, I freaking, when the Alien title screen was coming on, it was like already like you could see Alien like all the way, right? And Brielle said, "Hey, could you go check on Levi real quick?" I had enough time to go into that room and basically like soothe he wasn't crying, but he was like awake, and I was just trying to soothe him back to sleep. Soothed him back to sleep, and I came back, and the damn freaking title screen still wasn't freaking done. And I asked Brielle, I was like, "Did you pause it?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Are you shitting me?" Too much. Man. Too much.
I will say though, like, I mean, my first real introduction to like the way the Alien logo comes into play was seeing the trailer for Alien Romulus. And I have to admit, the way that they just like subtly just keep adding pieces to the logo or the word alien is just so freaking badass. Like, and it's like all over the place. Like, first you get the first, you get the first part of the A, then it goes to the L, then it will go all the way to the N, and it just keeps like freaking like bouncing around. And I freaking love that. I think it's so freaking cool.
Yeah. It's cool. It took too long.
No, it's fair. Like, honestly, you know, like coming back to, you know, Halloween, as much as I love that opening, you know, maybe it takes a little bit too much of a time to zoom in on the pumpkin. Do we really need to like go inside the pumpkin's eye?
No, we didn't. And it was the same shit with this. Dude, I'm like, this movie is taking a long ass time to freaking movie. Because, like, I swear, it was like for like 5 minutes at least. They like it was an opening sequence of these freaking I'm assuming they were automated like autopilot, like drivers that for whatever reason have heads, were like sitting there, and then they were having stuff like projected onto their face while they were like entering in information and whatnot, information that we couldn't freaking open up and or not open up, just decipher. And yeah, it was that. It was like bouncing back and forth between different of the autopilots for 5 minutes, dude. And then shots of outside of the ship, which straight up, those bitches were taken from Star Wars. I would put money down on that. Those are Star Wars reject ships. And you will not convince me otherwise.
I can't argue this.
Yeah, the OG Star Wars came out in 1977. This movie came out in 1979. You don't think that they went to George Lucas and said, "Hey, can we borrow some shit?" Yeah. And he was like, here's a reject idea, or a reject ship that we had, or like a prototype one, because there's a ship out there straight up that was thrown with some Christmas lights. You will not convince me otherwise. It was cool though. Like the ships looked fantastic. I'm like, obviously they're stealing processes from Star Wars here. Like they'd be dumb not to.
So you know what? But, good on you, Ridley Scott, for that.
Yeah. Other than that, there was a lot of moments that I feel could have been clipped. Like there was seriously like a 30 to 45 second sequence of Ripley, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, of Ripley.
Assuming you're talking about Sigourney Weaver's character.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was like 30, 45 seconds of her taking this code or whatever, and she's wanting to like decipher something, but she's sitting there with her leg propped up on her dashboard for like 30 to 45 seconds doing nothing but listening to the beep 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 beep. Like, I'm like, let's go. Like, are you kidding me? Like, can we speed this up a little, please? Like, it was a lot. This movie, it had the pacing issues. That's my only true complaint about it.
No, that's fair. Yeah, like the first up until before we get introduced to like the alien egg and like why this movie exists, the alien. I feel that don't get me wrong, like I really liked the crew. They were honestly like cool ass people, and the way they bantered off each other was actually like really funny. It's just I will fully admit I'm not the hugest sci-fi guy. Like I enjoy Star Wars, I enjoy Star Trek, but it's not my favorite. And so unless like big action stuff is happening, like what happens when the alien comes on board, I kind of get a little bored with the whole like like mother, why are we here, like, oh, what should we do, run these coordinates, all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry to say that kind of stuff is just boring to me. So the first 20 minutes, I'm gonna be honest, like I might have nodded off like once or twice.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for at all. It was very, very slow paced. But once the alien stuff kicked in, it was like we were there. And they took
definitely.
They did take a couple beats to kind of like slow down a bit, but I didn't mind those as much as I did like the beginning. Like pre-alien shit like could have been cropped down significantly.
True.
There's a cut out there, like an ideal modern day cut where this movie's an hour 20 minutes. Obviously not full feature length, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, you could crop a significant amount of this movie and still have a very, very solid movie. And that's like my biggest props to it.
Yeah.
Like, because once we were in it and got past all the freaking fluff, like, we were in it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And the story still holds up really well. I think the good thing about some of these like super futuristic things is you can have technically outdated technology, but it still feels futuristic.
Yeah.
So that's something that I really appreciated about it. And the horror elements, dude. This shit still freaking startled me.
Oh yeah, freaking when the alien bursts out of the guy's chest, like, ugh.
Ooh. Yeah. The freaking face hugger too scared the living bejesus out of me.
Oh yeah, dude, same.
And then just like the alien itself, when it came and was just like snatching, I don't know what it was snatching, but just it was scary, dude. Like, it scared the shit out of me. And then when she's on the escape ship and she walks over to this panel and then it moves, I was like, oh, oh my gosh. Like, freaking hide. And then she went and hid in like that closet, and I was like, oh shit, this is Halloween all over again.
That would be actually like really funny if Ridley Scott took a little inspiration from Halloween for that scene.
Yeah. But I mean, the story structure wasn't bad. Like, a lot of the science stuff, it made sense. A lot, like, some of the twists were crazy, like Ash being an alien, or not an alien, an android. That was pretty nuts. Dude, I freaking was laughing because I was like looking at him and I was like, why does this dude have freaking crazy written all over his eyes? And then when he started sweating, I'm like, it was like, is he sweating milk?
I thought the same thing.
And Brielle's like, yeah, it kind of looks like it. And I was like, gosh, this dude's a freaking platypus. And then turns out he's an alien. And I was like, okay, cool. And I loved when they popped off his head. And then they're just like, we need to reattach it. And they were like having struggles, like keeping it up. And then when they finally did, I'm like, now it's the actor again.
You could
so
tell.
Obvious. But I liked that shit. I thought that shit was so funny. It's so well done.
I love that freaking, after he shuts down completely, before Parker leaves the room, he flame throws him, but he makes sure that he flame throws the shit out of him, like charbroiled his ass. That was hilarious.
Dude, so good.
It's like, I think you're good, man. I think he's good.
Oh man. But yeah, dude, the biggest thing story-wise, I'd say, like, I really enjoyed was the reveal once Dallas died and Ripley took over control of the ship and she found out what Mother was saying and being like, yeah, this crew's expendable. I'm like, oh shit.
Dude, yeah.
Like, that was nuts.
Like, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, damn.
Yeah, and then freaking Ash coming in like a creeper being like, now you know. And I'm like, ah. Like, what the shit, dude? And then when he freaking like started malfunctioning and shit and like attacked Ripley, I'm just like, good hell.
Yeah.
Like, this dude's freaking nuts. And like, I still thought he was human and just like going through some sort of like mental episode. I'm like, is this actually the alien like taking over his body or some shit?
Thought
like
the same thing.
I was like, this is pretty crazy. And then she like bashes him in the back of the head with the damn like fire extinguisher, and then his head pops off, and I'm like, whoa. Like, this got super graphic. And then yeah, revealed he's an android, and I'm like, dude, good hell. Like they did good. They did really
did.
good. Like keeping this
100%.
timeless. So I was pumped. I was all here for the story. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Like I said, major pacing issues pre-Alien. Once they get the Alien, there's only like a moment or two where it ends up being really slow.
Yeah.
So story-wise, this is one I'm at a pretty strong 80.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a little lower than you at a 78.
That's fair. That's yeah. You know what? Now that I'm looking at it, a 7 or an 80 does feel a bit much. I'm gonna go 79. I'm going down 1. 80 just doesn't feel right. All right, moving on over to writing. Pretty good dialogue, I'd say.
Yeah. Freaking when Ash is his name, right? The android.
Yes.
Freaking when he like says, like, oh my god, I'm trying to remember. He points out, like, oh, it said that you were expendable, or I can't change the outcome of what's gonna happen, but you have my condolences, or some shit like that. I'm like, damn. Like, all right, well, smart ass android. Okay.
Yeah, no shit, dude. They had some pretty decent dialogue here. My personal favorite is when Ripley was talking to Ash and being like, yo, you freaking undermine my authority by allowing this dude to come in, not following proper quarantine procedure. Like, we can't have that. And he's like, the conversation between them was so passive aggressive, and I loved it.
Yeah, that was great.
But yeah, dude, I felt like I was like, these people are freaking idiots. Like, are you actually kidding me? This dude is freaking possessed by an unknown creature with an unknown origin. Like, absolutely not.
I freaking loved when Parker and Brett brought up before they decide to go investigate the alien and everything. He's just like, I didn't sign up for this, so we're gonna get paid extra for this, right? Like that we're gonna get more incentive for this. And they're just like, well, no. When you signed your contract, if anything like this ever came up, you can't just bail and say no, we ain't gonna do it. You still have to go through and like see if there is other life in that specific area. But just how much they were like on the pushing, like, okay, like we're gonna get paid extra, like, right, like for what we're already making, we're gonna make more on the side, right? Like that's gonna happen.
Dude, I was fully on his team with that. I'm like, you should be getting paid extra for this bonus travel. This is bullshit.
Oh
man.
Or freaking when was the cat's name, Jones, right?
Yeah.
Freaking he bursts out of a hiding spot, and then freaking, was it Brett? He's just like, oh, okay, it was just the cat, and they're just like, well, go get him. Don't just assume, oh, he's fine, like nothing's gonna happen. Go freaking find his ass.
Dude, if I were him, I'd be like, screw that cat. You go find him. That cat means nothing to me.
Yeah, was it ever established whose cat it was?
No.
Okay. That's what I thought.
It was just some random ass cat. Dude, that ship had some sketchy shit about it, because I'm like, there's a lot of water leakage for a spaceship.
Yeah, fair.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, when he was like putting his face in the water and everything, I'm like, that feels like it shouldn't be there. Oh man, the dialogue was good though. I really liked it, and then the whole mother reveal or just kind of turning against them. Really enjoyed that.
I
And
love. Oh, sorry.
no, go on.
I especially loved all. I mean, it was you really. It was very subtle because Mother would barely give him anything, but all of the interactions between Dallas and Mother, I freaking loved the writing with those.
Yeah, like I freaking loved it. What are my chances? Insufficient data. Like, dude, you are royally screwed.
Ugh.
Dude, Dallas pissed me off so bad though. I'm like, he has such a that's not my job attitude.
Yeah,
And
does.
I cannot stand people that have that attitude. I'm like, this is like when he's like, yeah, that's above my pay grade. I'm like, no, it's not.
You're the captain, buddy.
You are the
That is
captain,
exactly your
sir.
pay grade.
If it's not your job, whose the hell job is it?
Yeah.
You are out of your mind. Oh man, like every time he freaking talked, I'm just like, just go freaking like Brielle spoiled that Ripley was the only one that lived like pretty early on because she was asking, or it was like right after Ripley was like, oh yeah, we're following proper quarantine procedure, blah 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 blah. I'm like, she is smart. And then she's like, yeah, that's why she's the only one that survives. And I'm like, everyone dies? And she's like, oh, yeah.
Whoops.
And I'm like, okay, cool, I guess.
Hey, Joan survived too. Don't forget the cat.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The writing, I feel like I did enjoy more than the overall story. I felt like it was really well written and made us feel how we were supposed to about these characters.
I can definitely agree with you there.
Like, I really like the interaction between Ash and Ripley after his head was like chopped off. After like they reactivated him, I really like that.
That was really good.
Yeah. So this is one I feel like an 80 feels a little bit more deserved.
Yep, I'm on the same page.
All right, moving on over to acting. First up, we got Sigourney Weaver, who played Ripley. We got Tom Skerritt, who played Dallas. John Hurt, who played Kane, and he was the one with the facehugger, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then we got Harry Dean Stanton, who played Brett. Ian Holm, who played Ash. Yaphet Kotto, who played Parker. And then Veronica Cartwright, who played Lambert. And then did you have one more?
No, I think that was it.
Okay, cool. I'm going to come out and say it. Lambert pissed me off. I did not like her. Dude,
fair.
She is the sole reason freaking Parker died.
True.
She couldn't keep her shit together long enough to freaking move. And Parker, you know what? Kind of on you too. Sometimes you need to know when to cut your losses and freaking blow a bitch apart.
Damn.
You have in an emergency situation where something is going around murdering all of your crew, you get, you know what? Because I'm being nice, you get 3 warnings. It's like, hey, Lambert, move out of the way. Lambert, you might want to get out of the way. Bitch, you better want to get out of the way, and then you freaking barbecue her ass. You get 3 warnings, and that's being nice.
Yeah.
You know what turns off after 3? My conscience. I am not playing. This is life and freaking death. And if you are getting in the way of my life, then I'm sending you to Jesus.
That was amazing.
Oh man, dude, she got me so worked up. I did not like Lambert whatsoever. She was the bane of my existence. And like I said,
Jeez.
I absolutely blame her for Parker's death.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough.
And she was so whiny. Just like, oh, why do we have to do that? We're 10 months away. You're in cryo sleep, bitch.
Yeah, you're not gonna remember any of this, or like it's gonna breeze by.
I know. Like, if you had to stay awake for those 10 months, yeah, that would kind of blow.
Yeah.
But if you're awake or if you're in freaking cryo sleep for that long, freaking stop complaining.
No, like seriously.
Like, you're out of your mind. But anyway, I hope that was how she was written, because the actress, she played it well.
She did. Yeah.
She played her role well, and I hope
She
that
killed it
was
at whiny.
Yeah, I hope she was meant to be whiny. Otherwise, I feel real bad about the rant I just went on. Oh man. Anyway, what's your top 3 look like?
So number 1, definitely got to give to Sigourney Weaver. She was fantastic, as she always is in everything that she does.
Absolutely.
2, I'm gonna actually give to Yaphet Kotto. I think
I
that's
said Kato, but
Kotto?
whatever.
Okay. I loved him. I thought he was hilarious, and I was sad when he died, especially because it was
Thanks, Lambert.
yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, freaking loved his performance. He was great. Number 3, I'd probably give to Ian Holm. Played Ash. He was super. He played an android very well. Did a really good job. And just the freaking like last remark that he has before they shut him off for good is like such a like, wow, you are a smart ass and a jackass.
I know. Didn't realize they could freaking program sass into you.
Seriously. Freaking fantastic. So yeah, it'd be my top 3.
I would actually swap your 2 and 3. I'd put Ian Holm as 2. I loved his performance as Ash, especially once the reveal happened that he was an android. Like, freaking love that shit. And then Yaphet Kotto, I'm giving number 3. I loved his character, and I'm, like I said, a little better towards Lambert.
Oh shit.
I think I might be a little bit more bitter than I even initially thought.
Yeah, damn, dude. Like shit.
I am not playing when it comes to life and death. Dude, Brielle and I were having this discussion. I am not the type of person to be a first encounter. Or encounterer, whatever you want to call that person. Like in Star Trek, and like how they always like show off like, oh, this is a first encounter, observe and report. I'm not going on a planet that is unreported. I am more of a settler. I will be a homesteader on this new island or this new planet. Like, hey, you need someone to come and like find the building materials on this planet that has already been deemed safe, or it doesn't even need to be like 100% safe. Just give me a record of what to look out for. Like, if you give me a freaking, oh, these are the poisonous plants, these are the poisonous, or these are the dangerous whatever, like regions, animals. Like, if you give me all that information, I'm totally cool. I do not like the idea of the unknown.
Fair enough.
So I'm a homesteader / settler. I am not a first encounter person like that. So I would have been all types of pieced out and be like, screw your shares. We're not picking this bitch up.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's something I learned about myself watching this movie. I'm like, nope, absolutely the hell not. It's like, oh, we don't even know if this is human? No thanks.
So, I'm
I'm
you're like
like,
that SpongeBob. You're like that SpongeBob meme. All right, I'm gonna head out.
I'm a head out. I do not play, dude. I do not play.
Oh man.
All right, where are you sitting with acting?
Well, sorry. I just had a. It all went black. One second. Sorry, I got to reload. There we go. Acting. Just because I don't know. I feel like everyone did a really good job. So I think acting, even though like you did not like Lambert at all. And I mean, I honestly like not as much as Lambert, but Dallas, I'm sure he annoyed you as well.
Oh, Dallas pissed me off.
So I think I'm just gonna be like a couple points higher than my writing at an 82.
I'm actually a little bit lower than that. I'm at a 79.
Damn.
It didn't quite crack. Like, the acting was okay. It wasn't like top tier or anything. I don't think anyone like blew my mind with their acting ability in this.
I think. Sorry.
No, to me it came off as like low budget horror movie acting.
That's fair. And I feel that that can be like good acting. I mean, freaking Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. But I get where you're coming from. I think just maybe what boosted me up a bit, and this she wasn't in this until a couple years later, but comparing Sigourney Weaver's performance in Ghostbusters to that being just like a comedy performance to like her being actually like serious in this and you like the final girl. It was such a like interesting change for me and was like really cool. And so I loved seeing that acting change. So that I feel that did boost me up a little bit because of that.
That's completely fair. Sigourney Weaver, freaking, she can act.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got logic, which is just making sure that the movie followed its own logic, and just went like goes from there. Which, honestly, I feel it did. Like,
oh yeah,
fairly well. The only thing, and this isn't even like really a logic complaint, it's I wish we would have gotten to see more of what the alien was doing to people.
And I'm sure that was probably a budget thing.
I can imagine they probably spent a shit ton of money on the prosthetics for the face hugger, then the freaking alien popping out of the chest, then the alien costume itself, and then a good portion, I bet, went to Ash's prosthetics.
Like
So they
I'm
probably
sure,
just didn't have any more to give.
like I mean, I don't know how big of a budget this was in 1979, but the budget was 11 million.
Damn.
Yeah.
Let's see the an inflation calculator. All right, so this or 11 million.
Yep.
In what month did this get released?
May. Or wait, no, I'm sorry, September. Wait. Yeah, sorry, May.
All right, May of 1979. Has the same buying power in June of 2024. Please use values less than 10 million. God, seriously? All right. Let's do 10 million. Oh, wait. Is that okay? Actually, let's just do 1 million. That's 100,000, 1 million. Oh, and 79 didn't change my freaking year. In May of 1979, June 2024. Gosh, I have to do a shit ton of math for this. 4394055 4 times 11. All right, so that's the equivalent of $48 million.
So, I mean that's not actually a bad budget.
Yeah. So this is how this is what I had to do because they're freaking being bitches and won't let me do transaction or estimations over 10 million. I just did 1 million, and that has the 1 million in 1979 has the same buying power as just under 4.4 million. So yeah, 4.4 million times 11 is around 48 million.
Okay.
So that's my math. So
Makes sense.
if anyone wants to double check me, please don't. Goodness. Other than I'd say the only bit of logic that doesn't quite sit well with me is Dallas. Dallas was not an android. He knew what was going on, like all the shady dealings, and they said the crew is expendable. You mean to tell me that you put yourself at risk because a freaking computer told you that you were expendable? It said the entire crew is expendable. I'm like, absolutely the hell not. Guess what you are? You're part of the entire crew, you dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like, the survival instincts of Dallas are just non-existent.
He's no captain to me.
Absolutely not. It's like, oh, Captain, my captain, like, meant nothing. But I think they did really well at not like over explaining how the alien works. I think Ash did it perfectly where they're just like, oh, this is the perfect specimen. It kills without mercy or without conscience. It is the perfect specimen and whatnot. It just built up the alien so well because you're just like, oh shit, like this is some hardcore like stuff that's happening right now.
Yeah.
I can't think of any times where they like shifted away from the logic.
I can't either.
Maybe the only one, and this is just I don't even know what kind of complaint this would be. It's the shedding of the skin, and then it's just like super freaking big. Like I feel like there should have been more stages.
Yeah, that's true. Because like honestly, when that first happened, I'm just like, wait, were there 2 aliens on board?
Yeah, like I think they should have made a bigger deal that it was shedding and becoming larger. Like I think it would have been interesting to find more and more of those husks.
Yeah, that would have actually been really cool.
Yeah. Oh, what else? Yeah, I can't really think of any other like improvements to the logic there. They kept true to like, and I feel like this is maybe going to be incorporated more in future installments where maybe that like the logic that they use is shifted around, or maybe continuity is a little off. The birth process for these damn aliens is ridiculously complicated.
Fair.
Like you have an egg that contained the face huggers. The face huggers feed on, I guess, oxygen breathing life forms. They take that, unless that's like just some way for the creature to adapt. Like who? like I don't
Oh,
understand
awful.
that at all.
Yeah.
But you freaking get face hugged. You get freaking taken aback, or like taken over by this, or like you get an alien pill injected into your body that comes in freaking reverse Kalimaz you like through the chest, which that was freaking crazy. Like that whole scene was nuts, dude. Like I'm just like, oh shit. Like when
Frick-
I I wonder, I want to do more research on this scene because it feels like that pack, or like the blood packs that they use to like, I feel like one of those burst early. Like because it seemed
Yeah, I gotta
everyone
look
was
that
taken
up.
off guard.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
like everyone's jump was so genuine. Like I'm like, I feel like that had to be a misfire.
I always find that like those kind of things are like always fun to like find out. Like I forget it's one of Alfred Hitchcock's movies, but there's a part where like one of the actors has to shoot a gun, and I guess one of the kids that was one of the extras did not like the sound of guns, and so if you look in the background, the kid is just like literally holding his ears the whole scene because he doesn't want to hear the sound.
Oh man.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, logic wise, I feel like they did a really good job. Like being just setting up the rules.
no, absolutely. Freaking like the alien popping out of the chest, especially also reminded me of I don't know if you've seen this clip from the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but freaking when Freddy is like pushing through one of the kid's chests, and then he just slices the kid open, just crawls out of the body.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's fucked up. It's cool, but it's fucked up.
Yeah, there's some stuff like I don't feel would be like a proper reaction to this alien. Like so when the little alien pops out of the chest and then just kind of like jumps out and scurries away, everyone just kind of like and just sitting around.
Yeah.
I'm like, freaking chase that bitch, dude. Are you shitting me? Like, what are you doing? And then he's just like, oh, this cattle prod should do it. I'm like, no, freaking flamethrowers and shotguns.
That's the way they go.
Yeah, bitch. Oh my gosh. And I understand why they didn't, like, at least now, because Ash being an android and whatnot.
Yeah.
But still, like, I was livid. I'm like, bad decisions all around. But I enjoyed it. I feel like this is in the 90s for me, at least. I'm like 93 for some of the minor issues here and there. Like logic wise, I feel like they were pretty consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I really can't talk myself down from that, so I'm gonna match you.
All right, next up we got effects. And spoiler alert, I am a big fan of prosthetics.
Prosthetics and practical, that's the best way
Oh
to
my
go.
gosh, you cannot beat practical, dude.
No, never.
That is something that will keep this movie timeless.
Mm-hmm.
Is the prosthetics, because the prosthetics look so good.
Yeah.
I will say this, I am going to dock a little bit because I feel like the motion isn't quite there yet, because it's very obviously some dude in a suit.
Fair. Like, maybe it's just because I mean I haven't seen Alien Romulus, but watching that trailer and then this and like comparing how the face hugger is in that movie to this, it just, I don't know, like it feels a lot more violent in that one, and to me that makes a little more sense, and it just seems a lot more brutal also in Romulus when it like freaking like attaches your goes into your mouth and goes down into your system. It's the no, never mind. I'm not going to make that joke. um,
No, I get you though. It's because it's a curse of the times though. The face
yeah,
hugger, like they weren't able to apply the kind of mechanics that they're able to with what I'm assuming. I would be shocked if the freaking face huggers weren't prosthetic or practical in the Romulus trailer, because those
yeah,
look like they're real.
yeah. That
But
dude, that freaking trailer just, oh my god. Sorry, getting away from that for just a minute. Like that freaking trailer, like if you've never found the Alien movies disturbing, watch that trailer. Like that shit is messed up.
hell yeah, dude. They don't freaking play.
No, they do not. Just like Caleb doesn't play with bugs.
No, I don't. um yeah, so I understand like wholeheartedly that there's limitations to the times. So it's hard for me to like get a dig on that, or to take
Yeah.
points away from like just for their limitations. And like this is how I am with like with their special effects in general. Like you kind of have to be a little forgiving
Oh yeah, 100%.
for those. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to be taking away just for the motion, because I feel like they could have gotten the motion a little bit more alien and not so human-y in a suit, just kind of like jumping around. Like I think that was a bit weird. But
It's clear that I personally, I mean, just from what I've seen with like not only Romulus, but also I feel in like the Alien versus Predator movies, it definitely seems like they got their footing with that as the movies went on.
yeah, definitely. So this is one I'm also going to be fairly high on. I think the practical effects hold up really, really well. So I think I'm going to be giving this a 95.
I think I'm just going to be slightly below you at a 93. Actually, no, 94.
All right, moving on over to music. For something as iconic as Alien is, I feel like it should have had a pretty bitchin' score.
Yeah, honestly, for how, hyped up this movie has been since as long as I've been alive. And like this is like the epitome of like horror sci-fi movies. I was expecting like Halloween levels of soundtracks. But we did not get that, or at least I didn't get that.
No, not even a little bit.
Oh.
Like
So
the music fit, I guess. It was
Yeah, but it wasn't as iconic as I thought it was going to be.
No, not even a little bit. Like I'm giving this a 5. And even that feels a bit strong. I almost put that at like a 4.
Same here, man. Yeah, 5 as well.
Like it is. This is like a 4.5. Honestly, it's just the score was just so unremarkable, and maybe I'm giving. The reason I'm going to give it a 5 is because I feel like I'm giving this movie a hard time for not having a super amazing score like Star Wars or literally any other like major franchise. Like I'm giving it a hard time, but it was music. That's all I can really say. It was music.
Yeah.
And that's around where I put at what I put at 5. All right, costumes. I mean, we got to include the freaking alien because that was technically a costume.
Yeah,
which the clothes that everyone else was wearing were a little meh.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, I'm assuming it's just because, Sigourney Weaver was a a hot ticket back then, but I don't think I really needed the whole strip tease with her. That I don't did
Oh,
that
at
really
the
need to
end?
Yeah, did that really need to happen?
I would like to talk to the costume department because whoever put her in those freaking underwear was not doing her any favors.
True. Don't get me wrong. Sigourney Weaver is a beautiful woman. But I don't know. I felt like we really didn't need that. And then you got quite a few shots of where you could literally see her butt crack.
Yeah, what the what's up with that?
Yes. I was like, okay.
Dude, like no freaking joke. And listen, no complaints, but that shit was not flattering. It it was a bit much. And I was like, okay, you guys took this a little too far.
Yeah.
Like too much. Like too much. But yeah, so other than the very unremarkable clothing that everyone else was wearing, next to the freaking incredible suit or practical suit that the alien was wearing, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm between a 7 and an 8, and I can go either way.
I'm personally at a 7. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to get averaged down, but I'll give it an 8 just for shits and giggles. I think the practical alien suit does enough for me, even though it's not in it very much. Like, I mean, we only get like 3 or 4 shots of it, right?
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah, it's not a lot. It's a small handful, but I think it warrants that.
No, fair.
It's just like I said, the rest of the suits were just eh.
Yeah.
All right, last up, personal scores. Let's hear yours first.
Okay. So I'm really shocked that like I had never seen this movie before until now. For how hyped up this movie is when it comes to horror sci-fi films. This is the epitome of it. Many people consider this a masterpiece. I'm sorry, I'm not that way. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy this movie. I think it's a good film, but I do have pacing issues, like Caleb, or both of us pointed out. The first 20 minutes, I fell asleep once. It might have been twice. But once the alien is introduced, then the movie definitely picks up. And so everything after that I appreciate. From like the characters are actually good the characters are decent from there. I don't know if they're actually like that good. They're not that great. I've seen better characters in other movies, but for what we're given, the characters are decent. The alien is badass, and what they're able to do with the alien, and where the alien comes from, how it is born, how it matures, all that stuff is honestly really, really cool. And I am very interested to see the sequel to this Aliens, and maybe even Alien Romulus. I will say, I'm very interested in now that I know how an alien is, I really want to watch Alien versus Predator because I've never seen that. So I'm very, very interested now.
Same here. I this was a good introduction to this franchise.
Yeah.
Because this has led me, I have enough of an interest where I'm not totally dreading watching 2.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I like that.
And I'm assuming with 2 being like, I want to say 5 years, it's like 5 or 6 years after this, I'm hoping that the pacing's kind of improved. And that one's more action thriller.
Okay, cool.
So they've shifted genres, which I'm okay with, because like 80s action movies, like come on. Like you can't go wrong with those.
True that.
I am kind of glad that it seems like they're going back to their roots with Romulus. And so that's
Yes.
also very intriguing. And so it makes me kind of want to explore this whole universe of
Yeah.
aliens, predators, like all that shit. Speaking of, I I made a joke that I don't feel was truly appreciated but to my wife while we were watching this. When Lambert was killed and the alien was like had already bushwhacked Parker and came back to Lambert and its tail was like kind of sliding up her leg and then just kind of like all you hear is just screaming and shit. I started laughing and I told Braille, I'm like, can we just agree that the alien totally violated Lambert? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what I'm talking about is this alien being a predator. And she's just like, the predators are a completely different species. And I'm like, this joke obviously went way over your head.
I got it. Okay, that's good. I like that.
I needed to get that joke out. Oh man.
Okay. That was
someone
good.
appreciates it. Anyway.
That was good. Bravo.
Yeah.
So personal score, I think I'm gonna be at a 78. No, I'll be at a 79.
Well, that is funny because I am at a 78.
Son of a bit. What the fuck? I swear, I feel Caleb enjoyed this movie more than I did.
I did, and it's just I don't know. It's just let's just say I do like the other ones like equally. Yeah. This is probably not one that I'm going to come back and like re-explore.
Dude, that's like I have no plan of like can I change my personal score?
Nope, too late.
God damn it. You son of a bitch.
Oh man. All right. Going through our scores real quick. Starting off with story, we ended up averaging out to a 78.5. The writing is sitting at an 80. Acting got a little point bump, sitting at an 80.5. The character the logic of this movie, I should say, is sitting at a 93, something that I feel like they followed really well. The the practical effects with this ended up scoring a 94.5. The music is sitting at a 5 out of 10, and the costumes are sitting at a 7 out of 10, with the personal score coming in at a 78.5. So with that, the final Allbros letter grade for Alien 1979 has come out to a B-.
Okay. I'll take that.
I will take that too. That is completely fair.
Yeah. I'm at like a soft B-, like hard B, C+. I like that. It's perfect.
Yeah, so this is sitting at an 81.87%.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Like that's genuinely surprising. Like, not that this was like a bad movie or anything.
I was gonna say, for how much shit talk
I know
on the movie.
So our cutoff is actually an 80% for a B-. So this ended up scoring 1% above that.
Okay. Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, so an 81.87%. That puts it on the exact same levels as being the Ricardos.
That's the I Love Lucy
yes.
one, right? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't totally disagree with that.
Yeah, same here. I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of people that disagree with that.
Probably. But all right, let's see. Let's go with it's below first. So this is sitting below Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Okay, I can agree with that.
It is below Spiral.
Okay,
It's below Star Wars Rogue One.
fair.
It is below It Chapter 2.
Yeah, fair.
And it is below The Unicorn Store.
Fair.
Yeah, go on the opposite, or just to compare to a movie that's kind of closer to its age, it's below Over the Top.
Okay.
Then go in the opposite direction. It is above The Bad Guys.
Okay.
It is above Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Okay.
Or just I guess it's not Harley Quinn and the Birds. It's above Birds of Prey. It is above The Matrix Reloaded.
All right.
Which I think is the second one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the second one.
It is above Despicable Me 4.
All right.
And then it is above The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a movie that's closer to its age that we can compare it to.
My question, I can't remember what we gave it. What did we give the original Halloween?
The original Halloween?
Yeah.
Because
I swear if this movie ended up higher, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Halloween 1978 is at a B+.
Okay, phew. Okay, all is right in the world.
Yeah, but I think good placement.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there's a couple like little wild cards in there, but I don't mind it. The only like the closest one that we have like that's within this like the B-, that's like the closest is the Super Mario Bros from 93.
Okay.
So it is above that one.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, which I could absolutely agree with.
Okay, so our taste isn't that bad.
No, it is not that bad. But yeah. So anyway, that wraps up this week's breakdown. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you want to check out more of our stuff, be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are basically everywhere. You can follow us on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all at the All Bros. You can also check out all of our stuff on YouTube as well. We've been posting all of our recommendations and stuff there, and they've been doing pretty well. So yeah, go check those out. And yeah, check out our website, tinyurl.com/theallbros. And with that, next week we'll be breaking down the sequel to this movie, Aliens, with a very special guest. And yeah, so you guys can look forward to that. I feel like I'm missing something, but
I think you covered it all.
Yeah, I think I did too. But yeah, so anyway, with that, we will catch you guys next week. Deuces.
Peace around the world for generations.
What the shit?
I don't know.